June 25, this is Dvitiya Bhagaha, Ramayanam is 4:30, well 4:35 I guess, 4:35 to 6, June 25 second session. Yastu Mangalacharanam Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vihata Nishacharachamo Rama Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Dattalyam Ramanama Varanane Sri Ramanama Varanana Onnameti. So we're looking at the Titiya Sarga of Sundar Kandam. We're just taking only some sample verses. Sankshepena Kriyate Pachyate. So we have taken only 3 verses. Last time we did the Sankshipta Varnanam in full detail with this. This one was done last time. So we're going to continue with that, and we'll be taking 3 sample verses here, which is number 38 we have taken here, and we taken 41, and also, of course, Ramanam, a lot of part of Vedas, but generally this is according to Gita Press edition, is 47. We got 3 verses here we've taken. Now, these are all easy verses, and to save time today, I've put most of the forms already in the document here. So, we don't need to spend time typing in the class, so we can go a little bit faster with the Vyakaranam. This will all be uploaded to the website. So if anybody wants to go over more details, I put all the numbers here. I've not put every word, but I put, most of the forms. Some of the easy ones I have not put, but most of them will be here, so we can save some time. If you want to, let's read this one. I think we did this last time. Let us read it again today. There was some homework, but let's start again. Tatah krutva mahanadam savai lanka bhayankaram talena vanarasheshtan tadayamasa vegita. Tatah krutva mahanadam savai lanka bhayankaram talena vanarasheshtan tadayamasa vegita. So this thing, Ramayanam, is a wonderful, wonderful thing. It really is. Just keep on reading slowly, gently. It's amazing how Valmiki takes, through these very easy forms, some difficult forms, some crazy forms, all kinds of forms. 24,000 shlokas. If you just keep on reading Ramayanam, and you have the wonderful translation. My Gita Press translation is very nice. It's a beautiful way to learn the language. Vyakaranam is good, but Vyakaranam assumes you have the knowledge of the working knowledge of the. You have some working knowledge of the language. So for that, for Gita, you can try to memorize as much as you can, and then keep on reading Ramayanam. It is at least, even at this point of the class, what we have come so far, maybe like 30-40% will be accessible to you even right now, and maybe in a year or 2, we can access, more than 50-60%. Remaining, don't worry about it. It'll come to us slowly, and we hope another 3-4 years. We can read pretty much Ramayanam all the way through, but for some complicated forms. So Ramayanam is a wonderful way to learn Sanskrit, really wonderful way. I think, in fact, in the very first sarga, we saw that, which Valmiki said, Patan Dijo Vag Rishabhattam Iyat. Dijaha Vag Rishabhattam Iyat. Vag Rishabhattam means he'll become a master. Rishabha is a bull, means become a lord of speech. So one can become a lord of speech, particularly Sanskritam reading Ramayanam. So it's a fantastic thing. So please read if you can, and if you just you can try to connect, just simply like with simple like Bhayankaram, right? It says like you can say frightful cry, straightforward. These are very straightforward forms. Even though you may not know how the word Bhayankaram is formed, it is okay. We'll do in the class. In the class we'll do that because of how the word Bhayankaram is formed. It's upapada samasaha, takes a mummagam. Even if you don't know all of this, right now just get used to the language. There is a word form called Bhayankaram, adjective Bhayankara, which is frightful, scary or frightful. So you know word Bhayankara is there. Now you don't know how the mummagama came, that's okay. And tomorrow when you learn Vyakaranam, when you learn, you can appreciate that, pick it up much quicker. If you just heard the form Bhayankaram the first time in your life, it's really Bhayankaram. You'll be scared. What is this form? Never heard of it. So, okay, you want to take it, Karthik? Try to do the Padacheda for us and Padavichara. Try it. Let's see what we have. Go ahead, Karthik.
Yes, Satishi. Tataha Krutva
Correct.
Mahanadam Sa Vai Lanka Bhayankaram Talena Vanarashreshtham Tadayamasa Vegita.
And a straightforward sloka, not really much. So which is the Tingantam Padam here, Karthik?
Tadayamasa.
Tadayamasa.
Anuprayoga lit.
Okay, I put the form, I put the steps here. So let's see if you can just try to save some time and go a little bit quicker in the class. So this dhatu is tada aghate. Churadigana dhatu. Tada means to strike, to hit someone. Aghate. Tadayati means to strike or hit somebody. So aghate. So like Ravi always gives us, the dhatu is a very good habit. We learn from Ravi is this. Always go to dhatu pata, get the exact dhatu, because there are, dhatu might be in different ganas, it might have different meanings, and also when you go dhatu pata, you can pick up the it letters, what they convey to you. So always go to dhatu pata and get the exact dhatu. If you can, tada aghate, aghate. This is, of course, the ending is in it. So when prakriyayam only third, so upadeshaduna nasika it, tasya lopaha. So when you take now this is churadiganaha. Churadiganaha means swarte, niche. So the niche comes in basically in two sutras, 3125, 3126. Those are not the only ones. But dhatu, the churadiganaha takes niche in its own meaning, what's called swarte. So churadibhyo niche. Churadibhyo niche. And any dhatu will take niche hetumati in the causative. So this because you look at the dhatu number is 1064, it is churadigana dhatu. So the first thing, before you can do anything with this dhatu, churadigana, nitya karyam, you have to add the pratyaya niche to it. Niche means anubandha lope chutu halantyam, and then you get the upada vruddhi by atopadhaya, make it tadi. Tadi. Now tadi gets a dhatu sanya by sanajanta dhatavaha. So this is a new dhatu now, sanajanta dhatavaha. Sanajanta dhatavaha, we already have studied in the prior class, in I think 2 classes back. So these are the pratyas starting from sun, which is this gup tij kit sun, all the way up to this kamed ning. So all these pratyas, when there's a term ending one of these pratyas, it gets the dhatu sanya, sanajanta dhatavaha. We need that. We cannot do any lakar prakriya, anything kut prakriya, unless you have the dhatu sanya, even dhatu adhikaraha. So this is the first step. It turned into tadi, churadigana, by doing the atopadhaya vruddhi. Now when we add the lit, now how come here we didn't get the dvitam and the abhyasa, everything? What do you think, Karthik? What is the reason for that? Why not we get the abhyasa karyam over? Because normally when you say lit, iti dhato han abhyasas and all we do happily. So atra kasman bhavati dvitvam. That is the next number, it's 3135. 3135 is saying that, that's I put in the document to save us time today, is kas pratyayad am amantre liti. So kas pratyayad am amantre liti. This is a vartikam on that, which is kasi anekas. So if the pratyaya ka, the dhatu kas, any dhatu which is anekas, even though Panini says pratyayad, which also work for us, because we have a dhatu ending in a pratyaya, which is the nicha. But it's even more powerful vartikam on there. It says that as long as dhatu is anekach, it will take the pratyaya am liti. So this is what, so mainly in Bhagavad Gita we have the form darshayama, so ashvasayama in chapter 11. So even though this says that any pratyayanta dhatu, right, after that if a lit follow, you take the am, as a practical matter, most of the time it will be niche. So in the other forms of, the pratyanta dhatavaha, which is, like sananta or yang, they're much less common. Much less common. In fact, Gita only niche. So if you see the am pratyaha, suspecting niche, of course that's not the only sutram. There are some below that also, which is, up to this 36, 37, 38, 39. But this one will dominate because these are only specific dhatus. Ijadeshcha guru gurumata nrichaha. It should be ijjadi dhatu guruman. Then these are some 2-3 dhatus here, some dhatus here. But the reason why this will dominate is that any dhatu, when he takes the nich, hetumati, nich, apuchuradi swarte, nich, then is going to take the am pratyaya when it follows. So that is very important from 3135 with the vartikam, kas pratyaya ramamantre liti. So that's the reason why Kartik we don't get the Dvittam. Even that, why not Dvittam even after that? Because what happens is that once of course, when the Am Pratyaya comes in here, he'll do the Guna Adesha, where Sarvadhatka Arthaka Yoha becomes Tade. Now here, we should have had then Ho Yavayavaha. Then Ho, no, actually, I'll take it back now. So why not Niraniti over here? That's the question comes over here. Why not Niraniti? So Niraniti, why not we have that, Kartik? What do you think? So this actually, you know what? I need to change this step. Give me 1 second. This step is not correct because that one is not correct. Because what Niraniti says is that this pratyaya am will have sanya of ardhadhatukam because thing shit sarvadhatukam ardhadhatukam sheshaha. Pratyaya am will get the sanya of ardhadhatukam. So Niraniti is 6451. It says that Anidada vardhatuke pare ne lopasya. So the pratyaya am cannot take any idagamaha. It's not valadi pratyaya. So there will be no idagamaha for the am because it is not a valadi pratyaya. So then Niraniti wants to come and do the lopaha. But below Niraniti comes the special rule. Let me make this correction here 1 second, which is 6455. It says when the pratyaya nich is followed by certain pratyayas, takes the ayyadesha. So rather than 6451, should normally would have come, we go to 6455. The 6455 is, and I'm going a little bit fast because this is not Ramayanam class, but since you've done this before, and we see, I'm sure we will see it again. Ramayana is full of these. Many of these forms we see in the Ramayanam. It says ay, am, antal. So it's many all these pratyayas. Am is the first one. So and ending is saptami bahuvachanam. So when one of these pratyayas follows, any one of these pratyayas follows, then the nich takes the ayyadeshaha, not lopaha. Niraniti was saying that if the nich is for pratyaya with sanya of ardhadhatukam, if it is anid sarvadhatukam, anid ardhadhatukam, then ne takes lopaha. So ne lopasyad anidada vardhatuke pare. So that would apply to us right now because am is sanya of ardhatukam by ardhatukam sheshaha. It cannot take idagamaha. So but 6455 specifically says when one of these pratyayas follows, of which am is one of them, then the nich takes the ayyadesha. So that's one of the things to remember here. Let's look at 6455 briefly. 6455 is am, antalu, all these pratyayas. Iti eteshu parataha nehe ayyadesha bhavati. Okay. So then we got the tadayam lit. Now what happens is there comes sutram amaha. So following this am, the lit takes look. It is gone. So when the am pratyaya comes, it removes. So that's why when the lit is gone, of course there's no, it takes, you cannot do any nilumata angasya. So it cannot do any abhyasa karyam, nothing. So that's what happens. Is that this pratyaya am came in because the dhatu was pratyayanta dhatu. So it is anekash dhatu with the vartikam also. So then we get the am pratyaya in between there. And when am comes by amaha, lit takes a look. So amaparasya. So this is now, so this also is 2481. Sutram called amaha. So now when the lit takes the nalumata we cannot do any abhyas, anything based on the pratyaya. So amaparasya look. Now, what happens is that, in fact, let's not spend too much time in the class. We're going to, there's a bit of a controversy on this sutra. The way that Kashika has taken it and with Siddhanta Kaumudi has taken it, a bit of a difference. Let's just go with Siddhanta Kaumudi route because there's going to be, Siddhanta Kaumudi says about, almost like 1,000 years after Kashika. So some of the views in Kashika, I mean, most of the places they are the same. But there are some subtle problems with the Kashika interpretation. So let's not go there. If you want to look at the Kashika interpretation, you can look in the Kashika. But the Kaumudi says that, look at the difference between the Vritti. The Vritti here it says, Amaparasya lehe luk bhavati, what Kashika says. Amaparasya lehe luk bhavati. Only the Lakara takes, only the leaf, so that lit will take look. But Bhattoji says, Ama Parasya look. Anything comes will take look after the arm. So this step we are fine. Either Kashika or Kaumudi, this step we are fine. So Amaha, the lit takes a look. So we got Tadayam. Now in the meanwhile, what happens is that this lit pratyaya has a sanya of krut, the krut thing. In fact, even lat, even lord, all the lakaras, a krut pratyaya, the krut thing. We never think of them like that because normally speaking, the moment we get the sutram lasya, make it tipta ji, etc. And the more tipta ji says krud a thing. So when we have bhu plus lat, for example, at that point we have a krudantam we have. But when the lat takes the adesh of tip or whatever it might be, then krud a thing. So then this krut sanya is not there anymore. So then we don't have to, because if we have krut pratyaya, because krut trita samasascha, krut trita samasascha, we get the pratipadika sanya. So su just will start coming now. So here what happened is that because the lit took a look without the tipta ji coming in, so now this becomes krudantam now. So this tadayam gets the krut sanya. This one gets the lit has a krut sanya. It becomes kudantam because pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam. So now we get a pratipadika sanya for tadayam. It's very strange. We do a tingantam form, but tadayam gets a pratipadika sanya. Krutrita samasascha pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam. Krutrita samasascha. Because su just come over here. Pratyay su comes. Again we use the sutram amaha. Amaha to again do this supluk. So Amaha does the look according to Siddhanta Kaumadi. Again, if you want to see the Kashika view, you can read the Kashika. But Siddhanta Kaumadi says that not only the lit, but also the su default which comes also takes look because of Amaha. We get Tadayam again. So this is now a Subanta form, Tadayam. Now what happens is that comes 3140. 3140, this is where the Anuprayoga part comes in now. At 3140 is Anuprayoga. Krunchanu prajyate liti, krunchanu prajyate liti. It says that the cream, this cream is a pratyahara cream. The kru bhu as anuprayujyate means that you can use kru bhu or as with its own lit pratyaha. After this, arm comes in there. So after the arm, you can use the so if you look at 3140 for a second. Krunchanu prayujyate liti. Kruniti pratyahara. Kru bhu as ityartaha. So one of them is going to come by 3135. 3135. It says that liti no 3140. I'm sorry. 3140. 3135 was but we got the pratyah arm with that. So 3140 is going to say that amantat lit paraha krubhastayaha. So the krubhas with their own lit pratyaha anuprayujyante. So now we get what happens is that by this sutram 3140 krinchanu prayujyate liti, we get the krubhuras. In this case, us is the most common of them. In Gita only us has been used. So we get us with its own lit pratyaha with 3140. After this point is straightforward. Because we read the dhatu at, similarly us here. So now us with in this case lit. One more little complication is here is that normally us should take the bhu adesha, aster bhu ardha dhatu ke. So when normally you will not see any form of dhatu us followed by the pratyaya sanya of ardha dhatu kam. So lit pratyaya sanya of ardha dhatu kam. But because Pani specifically says kru bhu us can be used in uprayogaha, obviously he intends that us can be take a lit pratyaha in this case. So normally even though aster bhu, they would have required that the aster bhu, here it is aster bhu ardha dhatu ke. But so us will become bhu. If us is going to become bhu, what's the point of saying that you can use us in uprayoga lit? It doesn't make any sense. So vachana samarthyat, aster bhu doesn't come over here. And then the rest of it should be straightforward for us. So this part of it, us plus lit, will go to the usual route, dvittam, etc. So this lit becomes la, becomes tip becomes null by 3482 parasya padanam, null atus us, thal atus null vamaha, tip tajji becomes null atus us. It becomes, so we get the null adesha. Then in the meanwhile we go dvittam, anubandha lopaha, us plus a. Then in what happens is that at this point regard the atopadhayaha, vriddhi wants to come, also abhyasa karya wants to come, dirvachanechi is that no ajadesha should be done based on ajadi pratyaya which wants to do abhyasa. Abhyasa should be done first. So we get us by 618. Liti dhato vanabhyasasya. Liti dhato vanabhyasasya become us, and then hladishesha us, then ata adehe. In lit lakara, the adi akara of the abhyasa takes the akara adesha. Akara adesha. So becomes us. Now comes atopadhayaha, becomes as, akasavi dirgha becomes tadayamasa. I went a little bit fast on that one, but let me start from the beginning. Dhatu, this third aghate is churadi dhat, churadigana, so sparte nich, atopadhayaha becomes tadi. Tadi plus lit, parokshe lit. Now am pratyakam, because kas pratyaya ramamantre liti. Kas pratyaya ramamantre liti. Am comes. When am comes, amaha. Lit goes away. Now this tadayam gets the sanya of pratipadikam. Lit sanya, krut sanya, by the thing. Thing pratyaya never came in place of lakara over here. So because of that, your pratyaya su comes, so just default su. Again we use amaha. You move the su also. You got tadayam. Then after that, krunchanu prijjate liti. So we get the as, guru bhu as, and based with own lit. Again aster bhu doesn't come here. Vachana samarthyat. So tadayam as, and then after that do the abhyasa karyam. So come as haladi sheshaha ata adehe. So the adi akara of the abhyasa of in the lit prayogaha takes the akara adeshaha, and then after that atopadhaya for this becomes as, then becomes akasavi dirgha tadayamasa. This prakriya will be same in Gita, ashvasayamasa, darshayamasa. All of the same forms. We'll keep this, and next time we have this anuprayoga lit, we'll use all these same steps again. All this. You can practice. This will be uploaded on the document. You can practice that. Okay. Let's go back to this one. So what you have is, okay, Sundarkanda. All right. All right. This is over here only. So Tadayamas. Who's the karta of this Kartik? Tadayamas.
Sa Lanka.
Sa Lanka. So that Lanka, Purvakta, Purva Nirupita, should have been described before, that Lanka. Okay, so Lanka, of course, Sa and Lanka straightforward, Pratama Ekavachanam. We won't go through the steps now, because, the Pradipadikam Tat, becomes Sa, Tadadi, Namaha, etc. All comes there. How did that Takara become Sakara? Kartik.
I forgot the rules.
So where will you find it? Tadadi, Namaha, below that, right? Tadoho, tastavanantayoho. That's what's coming here. So tados, tastavan. So following the su pratyaya, the takara, dakara becomes takes the sakara, the anantayoho. That's not the ending one. That's what that becomes sa. So if you can quickly guess where you can find the rule, even if you forget it, below tadadi namha you can find it. So if you look at 72106 in that form sa. This has already been done in the example many times. So it says that Chadadinam Takar Dakarayoho Ananchayoho Sasyat Saupataha, which we do have because Patama Ekavachanam, according we get the Pratyaya top in the feminine, Vajajata Shtap, Anubandha Lopaha Kasam Dirgha, so Sa Lanka. So that Lanka, who's the object of this? Karma of Tadayamasa?
Hanuman.
Vanarashreshtham. Hanumantam. Vanarashreshtham, straightforward compound. Vanaranam Shreshtham, Vanarashreshtham, Shashita Purushaha. Okay. Now, there's a clause over here. It's Krutva. This you have seen many in the examples, which is Saman Kartaka Yoho Purva Kale. So the Pratyaktva comes when you have the Saman Karta in Purva Kale. So Saman Karta clearly is Lanka over here, because the Uttaravartini Kriya is Tadayamasa. We just saw that Lanka is the Kartri for that. So she has to be the one who's doing the Purvavartini Kriya also. So having made something. Krutva, of course, straightforward. Pratyakva with 3421. Saman Kartaka Purva Kale. Krutva. What is this karma of Kru? Dhatu Kru over here, Kartik. What's karma of Kru?
Krutva, this will be
Mahanadam.
Mahanadam.
Krutva. Having made a very, very loud sound. So this Mahanadam is a state for Karmadharya compound. Mahanscha sau nadascha Mahanadaha. So Mahat plus 2. This is the Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam. Anyway, if you want to learn about compounds in the Wednesday class, we're doing compounds in great detail. It's all be recorded anyway. It's all recorded. So if you want, you can also look at the recording. So all these details, what is Laukika Vigraha Vakyam? Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam is very technical breakdown. Sutram is Visheshanam, Visheshana, Bahulam. This is one, because this is a Karmadhara is subset of Tatpurushas. Tatpurushas go from 2122 to 2222. Within that section, Panini has a part over there, which 2149 starts with Samadhikaranena. And then in 1.2, Panini makes a definition of Karmadharya compound. It's a very simple rules. It says Tatpurushaha, which is Samadhikaranaha Karmadharya. Very straightforward. Tatpurusha compound, which is Samadhikaranaha, is Karmadharya. So there, the pivotal rule, the most used rule is 2157, which is Visheshanam, Visheshena, Bahulam. So Visheshanam, Visheshena, Bahulam. An adjective noun can be used, adjective and thing which is qualifying can be used. In that sutram, that Visheshanam is Prathama Nirdishtam, that gets a sanya of Upasajanam Purvam. In the Samasa Vidaka Sutram, which is a Prathama Vibhakti, gets a sanya Upasajanam. Prathama Nirdishtam, Samasa Upasajanam Purvam. That's how we know what goes first in the compound, what goes second in the compound, is that which is Prathama Nirdishtam in the Samasa Vigraha, in the Samasa Vidaka Sutram, that will get Upasajanam Purvam. So that Mahat goes Purvam, because that is the Visheshanam, that will go first. We get Mahat Tasnada. Only thing here is that we get a special rule in 6.3. 6.3 is a section in Uttarapade. So Purapada Sambandhi Karyam, when you have some Karyam for the Purapadam, when Uttarapadam means Samasa, something done when the Purapadam follows. Means this Karyam is being done to the Purapadam. An Mahataha Samadhikarana Jatiyayoho. So when the Mahat takes the Ata Adeshaha, alone Takar takes the Akara Adeshaha, with Samadhikarana or Jati Yapatyah. So we don't need Jati right now. Samadhikaranam, like Mahatma, Mahayogi, all these words. Basically, Mahat becomes Maha. Takara becomes Akara, and then Akasame Dirgha. When you see a compound like Mahanada, this is Samadhikaranam. Or it could be Bahuvari also. Could be Bahuvari also, like Mahabaho, Mahantau, Bahu, Yasyasaha. But Samadhikaranam doesn't always mean Karmadharya only. Could be Bahuvari also. Which is, this is not Vedikarana. Samadhikarana it is. So, it's not like an oblique case compound, what's called, it's not like a case relationship. The relationship not a case relationship, it's Samadhikaranam. So Mahana, this comes as a compound straightforward. So Mahan Tataha is an Avyam, Tadanantaram after that. With English then. Okay, having made a loud sound, why means like it doesn't add anything much, I think, indeed, or so the story goes. Bhayankaram. What kind of compound is this, you think, Kartik? Bhayankaram.
Upapada Samasa.
Upapada Samasa, yes. So this is Upapada Samasa. Why do you say that? What makes it Upapada Samasa? How do you know? Why not Tatpurusha, maybe? Of course, Upapada Samasa is Tatpurusha compound. Upapada Samasa is subset of Tatpurusha.
Because Kara will not stand alone.
That is the thing, because the Upapadam is required. The Dhatu Kru has taken a certain pratyaya, which is dependent on the Upapadam being there. Means unless this word Bhaya or whatever is required, unless that is there, this Kru cannot take this pratyaya. The Upapadam, I think, is a sutram which is this. Upapada Samasa is a special kind of Purusha compound. So Upada also is a special Vishesha Samasa, Tatpurusha Samasa. It is 2219. Upapadam, I think. I think I have the wrong number here. Is it 2219? I'm sorry. I'll change that right now. It's 2219. Upadam, a thing. There's only one sutram which Panini has, 2219. Upadam, a thing. Now, how do you know which dhatu can take which upapada to form these kind of compounds? You have to go to 3.2 for that. In fact, let me just change that one. The Bhayankara is 2219. not 22. 2218 is Kugati Prade. That's not the right one. We want 2219. 2219. Okay. Now what happens is that in the Dhatu Adhikara, Panini has this thing which it says Tatropapadam Saptami Stham. Tatropapadam Saptami Stham. So when I just changed 2219, I made it. Let me just change that to 2219. Okay, 2219. Okay. And then now when the second Dhatu Adhikara, Panini starts from 3191 to 3192, it says Panini says Tatropapadam Saptami Stham. So when you have a Saptami in the sutras, it doesn't have the regular meanings. Then that could indicate Upapadam from 3192 to end of chapter 3. So this is where we find those sutras which tells you which Upapadas are required or necessary to in order that a certain dhatu can take a certain pratyaya to form a Upada compound. Now there, and many of them as a practical matter come section from 321 to 32100, from Karmanyan all the way up to this one, which is the Anye Ano Karmani Anya Shupi Drishyate. That's up to there. Then comes Nishtha. So this is not one. This one goes different. It's a different section starting from Nishtha. So up from 321 to 32101, many of them come. Not all of them, many of them come there. Now the problem here is that the first one, 321, itself is Karmanyan. Pratya An should have come. You was wrong. Will become Karaha by Achoniti. But then we have a special rule over here, which is 3243. 3243 says saying that Megharti Bhayeshu Kriyaha. Megharti Bhayeshu Kriyaha. So Pratya Khach is coming over here. So if you have, look at this, that Megharti Bhayeshu is this Saptami. Sati Bhavashanam. So Tatropapadam Saptami Stham. Saptami Stham. So these three words, Megha, Arti or Bhaya, when their Upapada and their Karma, Anuvuti of Karmani is coming down from 3 to 1, then the Dhatu Kuru can take the Pratya Khach, is what it's saying, from Upada compound. So when we do that, of course, in the Khach, we do the Shakvatadite, Halantyam, Akaraha, the Khach can do the Guna Adeshaha, by Savadhatu Karzakayoho, Urandraparaha, you got Bhaya Kara. Now what happens is that because that Khach Pratya has that Kha as an It, you get the Mum Agamaha. Mum Agamaha. Again, we have to now go to 6-3, because 6-3 is the entire pada 6-3. So the pada starts with, Aluguttara Pade. So when you have some work being done in the Pura Padam of a Samasaha, 6-3 is the section to go to. Arur Dvishad Ajantasya Mum. Ajantasya Mum. When Kiti, the Kit Pratya follows, then the Ajantam. So when you have the Ajantam Pura Padam, will take the Mum Agamaha. Mum Agamaha. Let's look at the vritti for that. That will finish the form for us, become Bhayankara. Bhayankara. So when you see that Mum Agamaha there, look for a Kit Pratyaha. Kit Pratyaha. Arushaha, Dvishataha, Ajantasya Mum Agamaha Syad, Kidante Pare. Kidante Pare. Natu Avyayasya. That is fine. So we have this one is a Dhatu ending in a Kit Pratya. Kidante Pare. When this thing follows, then if in fact we have Ajantam prior to that. In that case, that Ajantam is Pura Padam will take the Mum Agamaha. Once you get the Mum, so then of course the Anubandha Lopaha, and then we get the Monuswaraha, Nuswasi Parasavarnaha, Vapadantasya, because the Padantamaka, because the Pratya was here. So with Bhaya plus plus Kru plus Khach, Alokaka Vigraha Vakyam. Because of this of course took Lopaha, because this entire thing is a Samasa now, because of the Samasascha Pradvidika Sanya, Supo Dhatu Pradvidika Yoho Suplok, but Pratya Lope Pratya Lakshanam. Pratya Lope Pratya Lakshanam. So when even though the has gone away, this Bhaya has the Padasanya. So when you get the Mumagama, you get this Monuswaraha, Parasavarnaha, Vapadantasya, Bhayankaraha, Bhayankaraha. So one more thing is that Upada Samasa is only one sutram in 2.2, Upadam Ating. But that connects us to the chapter 3, Dhatoho, because Panini has a sutram right after Dhatu Adhikara, second Dhatu Adhikara, 3192, says Tatropapadam Saptami Stham. And most of them come in this 321 to 32101. And there the default was karmanyan. If you the karma, the upadam is karma, object of something, pratyaya, an should be like kumbhakara, sutrakara, vashyakara, etc. Those are coming from there. But here we have a special rule. It says when the word megha, arti or bhaya are upapadas, then dhatu kru. So this is very specific now. Can take the pratyaya. It takes the pratyaya khach. So this was a special sutra was 3243. 3243. And then because of the kit pratyaya following, we got the mummagamaha, which is the form bhayankara. Bhayankara. So, okay, so I think is that it for this one? Okay, then I think last thing that we need here is, okay, tattha krutva mahanadam savai lanka bhayankaram talena. Tala means like with her palm of her hand, tale titya, ekvacham straightforward. Karana titya, karanaarthe. That's the instrument by which. Tadayamasa no vegita. What do you think this is? I think vegita. So here if you look at the comment.
This is, I think, Tarakadi. Tarakadi Gana?
Yes, very good. Yes, I'm impressed. That is correct. It is a Tadasya Sanjatam. Tarakadibhya itachya. So Sanjata Vega is one who's speedy. In one that she is one in which speed has shown up. So this is interesting Tadita Prayoga. It's a Tadita form. From the word, from the Palipadikam Vega, come like we say Sanyita, so it's so it's the Shankita. So these are all Tarakita, Pushpita. So that is Pushpito Vrikshaha. So which is so Phalitarthaha. So Phalitarthaha. So this is very sometimes some of these can be Nishtha, some of these can be Tarakadibhya Itach. So Itach is this Gana, which is the Sutram here is the it looks like a Nishtha Pratyaya over here, but this is the, if you look at the commentary, it says Sanjata Vega. You will always check what the commentator has to say. He says Sanjata Vega. So they will not give a sutra number, but the moment it says Sanjata, you can figure out that he's talking about a sutram. Tadasya Sanjatam Tarakadibhya Itachya. So it's 5236. So that it is something in which that Prajapatikam, the meaning of Prajapatikam has appeared. We saw Tarakitam Navaha. It's the sky in which the stars have appeared, have shown up, have been born, Sanjatam. So Tarakitam Navaha. So Tadasya Sanjatam Tarakadibhya Itachya. So that is the Pratyaya. Itach comes Tadasya Sanjatam, signifying something in which this thing has appeared, has taken place. So when we say the word Vega, the masculine noun, so Tadasya is Su, Itach Pratyaya, of course Su goes away, you get the Prajapati Sanya, Put is Samasascha, and then the Su Pratyaya goes away by Supluk, Supodhatu Prajapati Yoho. Now what happens is that Angam gets the Bhasanya. The moment you have any Pratyaya which is Swadi, Swadi includes all the Sipat, not only Supratyaya, but all the Sipratyayas and also Tadisa Pratyaya. So this, anytime you add a Tadisa Pratyaya or Sipratyaya or Supratyaya, you should ask, does the Angam have the Padasanya or Bhasanya? Of course, when you had Vishnu should not be Sarvanama Sthanam. Sarvanama Sthanam will only be within the Supratyaya. So when you're talking about Taditas or Sipratyayas, there's no Sarvanama Sthanam. So the Angam will have either Padasanya or Bhasanya. 1417 with Padasanya by Swadishva Sarvanama Sthane Yachibham. This case Yachibham. Pratyaya is the Ajadi Pratyaya. And then we get Yascheti Cha, because of the fact that when you have an Angam ending in the E Varna or A Varna, which has the Bhasanya, Tasya Lopa Bhavati Tadite Ikare Chapare. So this is like a computer subroutine, which I think we mentioned many times in the class already. When you get the Bhasanya, you have to call the subroutine Bhasya. And within that is very important sutram, which is the Yascheti Cha, Ivarnantasya, Avarnantasya, Bhasanyakasya, Angasya Lopa Bhavati Tadite Ikare Chapare. So that's what happens. We get Yascheti Cha becomes Veg Ita Vegita. And then finally we add in the Sri Pakshe, Triyam, we add the Pratyaya Tap, Ajadya Tashtap, Anubandha Lopaha, Akasavi Dirgha becomes Vegita. So Ravi, you want to translate for us, Ravi? Translation for us, Ravi? Right?
Yes, Satish.
Okay. So let's see. Raising.
Krutva.
Krutva. Basically making. A loud cry.
Mahanadam.
Mahanadam. Frightful.
Bhayankaram.
Bhayankaram. Lanka is Lanka. And then is
Tataha.
Actually.
Why?
Why actually. Struck.
Talayamasa.
Talayama. With impetuosity. Vegita. So she was speedy. She was one in which speed had taken place. So she was with speed. With English with speed. Speedily. That is point of translation understood. Jewel among the monkeys is
Vanarashreshtham.
Vanarashreshtham, best among monkeys, with the palm of her hand.
Talena.
Talena. So you see, even if you didn't get all the Vyakaranam, it is okay. Because the translation, you can get an understanding of some of the forms. You can pick up some Vyakaranam, of course, it gives you more power to get more precision. Ultimately, language means what is the speaker trying to say. That is the bottom line. So the more Vyakaranam, tools you have in your hand, they can be used to get the exact meaning. Then you can even start appreciating the translation. You can start appreciating which translation is good, which is not good. If you know Vyakaranam, you can read the Tika also you can read. For example, when the Tikakara says Sanjata Vega, what does it mean? What does it mean Sanjata Vega? What's the big deal? What's this Vyakyanam mean? He says Vegata means Sanjata Vega. It looks like nothing special about the Vyakyanam, but it does. So the word Sanjata refers to a sutram. Tadasya Sanjatam Tarakadibhya Itach. You don't know that sutram. This commentary looks like doesn't make any sense to the commentary. So unfortunately, or whatever, fortunately enough, the commentaries assume that you know basic Vyakaranam. So if you don't know basic Vyakaranam, you're deprived of the great help of all these teachers. Okay, they didn't write in English or Hindi. They wrote only in Sanskrit. So that's the reason why we study Vyakaranam. At least you can look at the commentary and do your own, homework. If you can at least understand what it's trying to point to in the commentary. If you don't understand that itself, then how can you look any further? Okay. So this is the next one over here, which is, of course, not the next shloka, but it's the next sample, I should say, which is this one. Stri cheti manyamanena nati krodha swayamkritaha satutena praharena vivvalangi nishachari papata sahasa bhumau vikritanana darshana. Stri cheti manyamanena nati krodha swayamkritaha satutena praharena vivvalangi nishachari papata sahasa bhumau vikritanana darshana. Keep on reading. I cannot emphasize more to you. It's such tremendous value. Many people say, I want to learn Sanskrit. I said, how much have you read of Sanskrit? Well, nothing. Then keep on reading. In the beginning, it's a bit frustrating, but you have the translation. You do have the Gita Press, really, all blessings to Gita Press. They have a wonderful translation for the entire Ramayanam, of course, the entire Gita, entire Bhagavad Puranam. If you really read those with like 45,000 verses, you're pretty much done. All the Vyakaranam you will know intuitively. And then, as you're doing that, if you really devote yourself, you can do Ramayana in 1 year. You can do Ramayana in 1 year if you really devote yourself to that, okay? So please keep on reading. Tri cheti manyamanena natikvada sprangkritaha satutena praharena vivvalangi nishachari papata sahasa bhumo vikritanana darshana. Same thing with Vyakaranam. You can read Siddhanta Kaumudi, you can read Kashika, you can read, what Nagesha has to say. We must keep on reading. Even if you don't understand what they're trying to say, slowly you'll get one meaning. Okay. Would you Padachara first card?
Satish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Satish. Stri cha iti correct. Manyamanena na atikrodhah swayam kritah sa tu tena praharena vihvalangi nishachari papata Sahasa
Sahasa
Bhumau
Bhumau
Vikrutanana Darshana.
Darshana. Vibhakti of all of them? 3 is what?
Stri is Prathama Ekavachanam.
Prajabadikam Stri. So it has
Stri.
straightforward because it is the use Triyaksha Nadi and Halni Abjo Suti Puktam Hal. So it is in Naisanya, it also ends in the Pratya, Ni, so it goes Halni Abjo, 3 will be take the, in 6168 becomes 3 is, actually this Pratya is 3, does it get the Naisanya, Kartik? Or no?
I think it does not get the.
Where do you go first? Use Triyaksha Nadi.
Niyangam sthana was 3.
Yeah, very good. Niyangam sthana was 3. Niyangam sthana was 3. Now what does that say? Niyangam sthana was 3. Is that this is a special word, right? Niyangam, so normally when you take a iyang or uvanga adesha, naisanya is negated, but not for 3. So 3 will keep that. So in addition to taking the iyang uvanga adesha. So niyangam sthana was 3. So 3 there's no word like 3 in the whole language, So use Triyaksha Nadi because when the iyang or uvanga adesha comes, and then normally the Stri Sandhi in the Narisanya is gone. But this one, this 3 is a special thing, which the it doesn't lose the Narisanya in spite of getting the iyanga adesha. So niyang sthana was 3. No iyang sthana was sthana astri. So that is sutram. Yes. So the 3 will get the Narisanya, it has Narisanya, use Triyaksha Nadi. And then, but normally what would happen when you get the Yanga Adesha, then in that case Narisanya would have been lost. But in this case it doesn't lose the Narisanya, it keeps this. So yeah, so use Triyaksha Nadi will work for this Triyaksha Nadi. Okay, now alright, so that's Pratama Ekavachanam, it shows Navyam, it is Navyam. Namanyamanena, what's there?
It's Tritiya Ekavachanam.
Yeah, Pratipadikam is the Ramavat, Manyamana.
Manyamana.
This is actually adjective. This is qualifying Hanumata, qualifying Hanumatta. Okay. Then what is the no avyayam atikrodha, atisheta krodha, atisheta. Go ahead.
That will be Bahuvrihi?
No, because it is Karmadhara, right? It's quite Krodha. Because the Pradhanyam. Uttarapadam has a Pradhanyam, right? The Krodha has a Pradhanyam. So look at the transition also, you can look at it, no violent anger. Talk about the anger itself, the one who has made the anger, etc. So just the anger. So just anger. So it's Karmadhara compound. Okay. What's the next one? Swayam avyayam. Kritaha is Pratama Ekavachanam Samadhikaranam with Atikrodha. Sta is
Pratama
Ekavachanam. And then 2 is avyayam. Then Tena is Prahara. Pratama Titya Ekavachanam qualifying Praharaha. The Sarvanama Shabda means find out who is qualifying. Prahara is qualifying Praharaha. So it is Pullinge Titya Ekavachanam. Tena Praharena. Now Vivvalangi, this is Bahuvrihi. Vivvalani Angani Yasyasa. This is Yasyaha Sa. Now we're going to, interesting thing over here is that, which is going to be very interesting, is we won't spend like the whole class on this. You could literally spend like almost half a class on this. Is Bahuvrihi compounds, which end in a like a part of the body, a limb in the body. When they come in the feminine, we can, do they get the knee pratyaya or the nish pratyaya or the top pratyaya? Because here the pada Vivalanga we got. What Vivalanga? You look at like the Lalita Sahasranama Stotra, Gura Gulpa, but Kurma Purushti. So it's not foreign. No. Gura Gulpa, let's stick with that. Kurma Purushti for bigger compound. So Gura Gulpa. So that Gura Gulpa, now how come that Gura Gulpi then? Gulfa, I think, is her ankles. So these ankles are covered with flesh. Gudha Gulfa. So now, why not Gudha Gulfi then? So how come this became Vivvalangi and that became Gudha Gulfa then? So this is a topic in the Sri Pratyaya section. I'll just give the numbers. We'll go to that in a second. But this is a really interesting topic, very interesting topic. And it goes, this one, it starts from, it will become in 4.1. It's 4.1, like 54. Swanga chupasarjanad sanyogopadhat. Then nasika, udara, oshtha, jangha, jangha, danta, karna, shunga, cha, nakroda, di vachaha. See all these rules over here, these 3-4 rules over here, they are basically talking about, this Prajapadikam ending in one of these parts of the body and what happens. So for us, luckily right now what's going to happen, we'll go through that in a second, but we're going to luckily have this sutram which has a Vartikam on that nicely for us. So let's look at 4.154. But this topic is, and then what qualifies as an Angam? That's also an interesting topic. What is an Angam? Is it like if you have like a swelling, is that an Angam? That's not an Angam. So the swelling will go away. Then let's say if you have hair of the body fallen somewhere else, is that an Angam? Are they like a Swangam, is a part of your body? Now if you have a statue, like like a murti, which has like a nose or something, does that qualify or no? Then if you have, literally this is all in Mahabhashyam, it's all coming in Mahabhashyam. If you have like a building which has a face in front of it, does that qualify as like a gatra? So all these different things. It's an involved topic. Luckily for us right now, it says Anga Gatra Kantebhya iti Vaktavyam. Straightforward. Mrudvangi, which is one with soft body. Mrudvangi, Mrudvanga. This was saying is that Swangam Yad Upasarjanam Asanyoga Upadham. That was the problem here. We have Anga here. That has the Anga, Upadha is Sanyoga. Asanyoga, but this Sutram only applies for Asanyoga Upadham, so which was disqualified our case. Tadantat Pradipadika Striyam Va Nish Pratyayo Bhavati Chandramukhi Chandramukha. Should be Upasarjanam. So basically in a Bahuvari compound, every term gets a Sanya Upasarjanam. So if you have Bahuvari compound, then these are Bahuvari compounds. So Chandramukhi, Chandramukha. Because in Mukha, there was no Sanyoga for at the Upadha level. We unfortunately have Sanyoga. We have Anga. So it creates a problem. We could not be, otherwise see default is the Ajadyata stop. So this would have been a default with Chandramukha. But Chandramukhi also is required. That's the Panini pushes Sutram over here. Swanga cha upasarjanat asanyoga upadhat. Sanyoga upadhat. That is 4.1. There's a typo here. Should be sanyoga upadhat. Sanyoga upadhat. Now this is ati. So ati kesha mala. So it becomes now it says. Then he says that asanyoga upadhat iti kim? Gudha gulpa, sugulpa, suparshva. So one who has good ankles or one who has good sides, or suparshva nari. But then we have a problem because then if we have our case, we have anga, then we will not get the pratyaya niche. We want niche. Then katyana puts a vartikam. Anga gatra kanthe bhyati vastavyam mrudvangi mrudvanga sugatri sugatra snigdha kanthi snigdha kantha. So now these even though this upada has sanyoga there, anga, gatra and kantha, by the vartikam they get it gets more complicated than this, but if you want to do some homework, if you want to have some fun with this, you can look at the next sutram, nasika, udara, ushta, and so on. Nakroda, again and again nisheda comes after that. And then on top you have the vartikam inside these. And this not only counting the complication of what qualifies for a swangam. That's another topic. So after you figure out is it swangam or not, then you have this with the nisheda and the vartikams on that. So it's a complicated topic. So I'll just leave with that numbers. So 4.154, 55, 56, and then it goes on. But right now we can use the vartikam. So vivvalani angani, if you can finish that one up. Vivvalani angani yasyaha sa very straightforward. Anekamanya padarthe, vivvala plus jas, anga plus jas. And here the only thing is that, as I mentioned to you in Bahuvri compound, since every term gets sanya upasajanam, then we cannot use upasajanam purvam. The vyavastha for the purnipata cannot be done. That's why Panini has specific rules for a Bahuvri. And one straightforward rule is that Saptami Visheshane Bahuvri ho. So Saptamiyantam and the Visheshanam will take the Purnipata in a Bahuvri compound. Saptami Visheshane Bahuvri ho. Right now the Vivvala is Visheshanam for the Angam. So that Visheshana will take the Purnipata. That goes first. So Vivvalanga Akasami Dirgha takes place. Of course, in the meanwhile, Supluk, Supodhar Padvika Yoho. And then Pratyay Nish come with Vartikam. Anga Gatra Kantebhya iti Vaktavyam. And then of course here again, because Si Pratyaya Anubandha Lopa Yikaraha Vasanya Swadi Pratyaya. So yes chiti cha Ivarnantasya Avarnanta Sangasya Lopa Bhoti Tadite Yikare cha. This is that Yikaraha. Tadite Yikare cha pare. That Yikara is Si Pratyaya Yikaraha. So we get yes chiti become Vivvalangi. The complication is this one. This is the complication here. Anga Gatar Kantebhya iti Vakta. Rest of it is straightforward. This is the because normally you should always see, if you know the Sutram Ajadyata Shtap, you should ask, how did that not come here? Viva language is Adanta. Come Triyam Tap Bhavet. Tap should have come. Then you look into that, and now we know at least there's something complication there with these Bahuri compounds ending in the part of the body. When they go in the feminine, there are complications. Okay. That is leave it at that for time being. Now, Vivvalan, Nishachari, of course, Patama Ekvachanam Srilinge. This is also a Upada Samasaha. You can quickly look at that one. Same steps. Again, I think the wrong number should be 22. Let me correct that one. I'm sorry about that. Should be 2219. Upapadam, I think 2218 is Kugati Prade, so wrong number. Should be 2219. Upapadam, I think. The same thing, there's a sutra which authorizes a Upadak Samasaha. We have to go to 3.2 and then find a sutram which will fit us. So we have the dhatu char over here, and we have the saptami upadam, which is the adhikarane. So nishayam charati, one who roams about at night, is nishachara. We also want a pratyaya which will give us nishachari as a feminine form. Even if you make nishachara as a masculine form, then why not, again, same thing here. Why not ajadyata shtap? Because we should have had the adantam pradipati becomes triyam, should be tap, nishachara should become. The pratyaya which you are going to get is going to help us make the ni pratyaya in this case.
Chareshtaha, Satish.
Chareshtaha, very good. Yes, Ravi already has the answer. Thank you, Ravi. So chareshtaha, and I think anuvritti is adhikarane, I think is coming down there. Chareshtaha. Yeah, chareshtaha. It will be right below. See, because the karmani and this is karmani. We don't have karma right now. We have the adhikarana. So chareshtaha, here it is. Adhikarane shetehe. Anuvutika adhikarane comes when you have a upapada, which is adhikarana vachi. So which is in this case nishayam charati. So chareshtaha. So the dhatu char will take the pratyaya ta. So Ravi, what makes the ni pratyaya? I think you know that sutra.
That's that tidhane dvaisach matre.
Correct. So when the pratyaya tit pratyaya comes like that, then in that case the pratyaya ni comes triyam. Instead of the taf coming in there, ni pratyaya comes. Let's finish it up. So 3.2.15 is sutram. Sorry, 3.2.16 chareshtaha, as Ravi said correctly, chareshtaha. So first we have to use to always start any samasa. You have to start from a sutram in 2.1 or 2.2 samasa vidayaka. Sutram is only one single sutram which authorizes a upada samasa, which is a special case. But purush samasa as 2.2.19 upadam ating. Upadam is defined by 3.192. Tatra upadam saptami stham. So here we do that. Chareshtaha. So nisha ni char plus ta for chutu, and then in the meanwhile the ni will go away because this is a samasa. This is a samasa. Shcha prantajika sanya. Supodhatu padvika yoho. Nisha char plus a, and then we get this 4.1.15. It's a nice long musical sutram on the Ashtadhyayi. Very nice music comes from the sutram. So this is the Tiddhani dvaya sajjadanyai matrashtayap thak thai kai kurapaha. Tiddhani dvaya sajjadanyai matrashtayap thak thai kai karapaha. These are all specific pratyas. But luckily we only use the first part only we need. So when you have this tit pratyay at the end, then that following that we get the neep, sriyam neep pratyay. We get anuvrutti of neep coming from here. Dimnebhyo neep. Anuvrutti of neep is coming over here. So that's what we use. Again here also we have to use the vasanya yasyeti cha. See how common these rules are. Vasanya yasyeti cha. What's anubandha lopa before that? Shakpati halantyam. Kam nishachari. Nishachari. Papat. This is the tingantam padam. Ekating vakyam. Ekating vakyam. Papat is straightforward. Should be by this time for us. So it is that dhatu pat straightforward to lit lakara. Parokshe lit. Anubandha lopaha. The la becomes tip. Tip becomes null. Parasya padanam. Nalatus. Thaltusa. Nalvamaha. And then anubandha lopaha. And here we do the abhyasa karyam because you cannot do any ajjadesha. So atopadhaya has to wait until abhyasa karyam is done because of dirvachanechi. So that no ajadesha can be done by a pratyaya which is ajadi, which is dutta nimittaka pratyaha. So the pratyaya null anubandha lopa is ajadi. That is the pratyaya which is causing duttam because liti dhatoho anabhyasasya liti. So it wants to cause dittam, it also wants to do ajjadesha and yangam. The ajjadesha has to wait. Dittam is done, so we apply 618. Niti dhatulanabhyasasya. Niti dhatulanabhyasasya. So we go pat haladisheshaha. Now do the atopadhayaha papat. That's the karta of that. The karta of that is that sa nari papata. Nishachari. Vivalangi, papata, sahasa avyayam, all of a sudden, bhumo, akli saptami, ekvachanam, bhumi. This I will not repeat in class because we don't spend time with the examples. Vikritanana darshana. What do you think, Ravi? What kind of compound is this one? Let's try this one. What do you think this one is? What do you think this one?
Is it Bahuvrihi?
Well, what would be the Vigraha Vakyam for that? It should not be because look at the Uttara Padam, Ravi. The Uttara Padam is, darsheti darshana. So that will see Bahuvri means that the compound should not contain, they shouldn't have the pradhanyam. Pradhanyam should be in the anyapada pradhanyam. But
So
here,
has it been okay.
Dvitiya tatpurusha samasa.
Tritiya is what? Vikrutena. First of all, you have a three pada samasa, right? Of three padas there. We have to group them together.
So
You can look
Vikruta
at,
Ananam. Yes.
you could have made that. If she was just Vikruta Anana, straightforward, right? Vikrutam Ananam Yasyaha Sa. We don't have that. We have Vikruta Anana Darshana. Now we can go to the commentaries. In fact, in this case, commentaries are given two different meanings, by the way. So in fact, one commentator in the beginning that he gives is that, but see, I went for what I've done in the document here, I've gone with the translation. Okay, this is what the translation says. This one, but this is according to the one commentator. Now another commentator gives another thing. He says, what does he say? He says, Vikrita Vakta Drishti. So I think he's taking darshanam as by drishti. So one whose face and eyes were deformed. So he's taking darshana as drishti at the end. Drishti means sight, one's vision or the eyes, and whose face was deformed. So making Bahuri out of that. But the one that Gita Press has taken, if you look at the translation here, is that displaying her ugly features. So they are taking darshana as this, this krutpatteha liu, like, madhusudanaha. Right? How about janardanaha? It's a good one, right? Janan ardayati janardanaha. Janan ardayati janardanaha. So madhum sudayati madhusudanaha. So now this is what, these kind of compounds, this pratyaya liu. So this ana is pratyaya liu. So first of all, in Asmin Pakshe, make Vikrutanana as a Karmadhara compound. You can get rid of the Vikruta part of it. because Vikritanana is like, deformed face literally. They're deformed faces, ugly features. So the Vikrita is, deformed, ugly. Ananda taking as feature they're taking. So that Vikritanana is Karmadhara compound. So we don't worry about Vikrita. Vikrita has been accounted for. The good thing about Tatpurusha compound, including Karmadhara, is once you do that formation, you get the Purvapadam has no more role to play the remaining part of the compound. So if you have a Tatpurusha compound or a Karmadhara compound, you can collapse it. You can collapse that one. Vikritanana, forget about Vikrita anymore now. Only Ananda take it. So Ananda Darshana. So now what he says is that Vikritam Anandam Darshayati. Vikritananda Darshana. Like Janardana. Now the other commentators, which is what Gita, see what Gita Press does. They look at all the commentaries, then they pick and choose what they want. Or sometimes they make their own. Or maybe commentary which I don't have possibly. But there are many commentaries of Ramayana. So they look at all the commentators and then they pick and one. So the other commentator, he says that, what does he say? He says, Vikritananam darshayati sa. Vikritananam darshana. So now he's taking Pratyaya Lyu. This is sutram, which nice sutram, which when Panini starts the adhikara of the Kruddha thing from 3193, the first thing he starts Kritya Pratyaya, Krityaha, potential participles. So they go up to 132. Then Panini starts Nul Trichau. Okay. Then after that, this is very, very important sutram, Nandigrahi Pachadibhyo Lyu Ninyachaha. 3 ganas, Nandyadi ganaha, in the Grahadi ganaha, Grahyadi ganas, Grahi. So, and then Pachadi. They take respect, Yatha Sankyam. Nandyadi gana will take the Lyu. Grahadi gana, Grahadi, whatever, will take the Nini. And then Pachadi will take the Acha. These are all Akriti ganas. So, Nandana, like Ramana Maharshi, right? Ramanaha. So, Ramyate Atva Ramayati Jananiti, Ramanaha. One who delights himself or one who delights other people. So, because you can have a niche inside there also. So, Ramanaha. Vibhishanaha. See, all of these are this Pratya Ana which coming at the end. Now, for us, we can use the form Janardanaha. Now, this Akriti Gana will not have this one in there. So, but what we will take is that we says that this is Kartari Krita. So, Darsheti Darshana, one who displays. Of course, at the end, the top is coming at the end. Pratya Lyu means, in fact, let's go to the document, see what I put down over there, go through the steps over there. So, first thing I did was just made the Vikritanana as the Karmadhara, I did that. Same thing before. Visheshanam Bahulam. So, that's straightforward. And then, Vikritananam Darshayati, Vikritanam Darshana. First of all, take Dhatu Drish, put the niche on top of that. Darshayati, one who displays the ugly features. Displays, not one who sees but displays. Means to make others see. Drish is to see yourself. Darshi is to show somebody else. To make someone else see. Means to show. English simply means show. So Drish plus niche, of course, Anubandha Lopaha. Then Puganta Lagupatasya Ja. Lagupatasya Cha. Uran Raparaha. So Darshi. Darshi is a new dhatu by Tanajanta Dhatavaha. Dhatavaha. Darshi. Now what you do is that Vikritanana plus Nyas plus Darshi plus Lyu. How did Nyas come over here, Vajay Karthik? Why not Vigravakyam has
Kartru Karmano Kriti.
Very good. Kartu Karmanoha Kriti. Kartu Karmanoha Kriti. So why not Shashti over here then? Why not Dvitya? How you got Dvitya here over here? Here I happily made it Kartu Karmanoha Kriti. But then this one I made it like that. Nyas. Here I put the
Because there's no Krit Pratyaya. There's no Krit there. So
this is Tingantam. This is not Krit Pratyaya. But this one is Krit Pratyaya. Lyu is. So as long as Lyu is there, you're going to take Nyast. So this is an interesting case where the Laukika Vigravakyam we can a little bit throw you off a little bit. Because Ananam Darashayati, this is a karma. But then Karti Karmanoha Kriti, 2365. Like when we have say Jagatah Karta, Vishwasya Karta. So this karma takes this Shashti. So here we have to Vikrava, the Alaukika Vigravakya, Vikritanana Nyas, Darshi plus Lyu. Of course, Lyu means Lashakvatadite, Tasya Lopaha, and Yuranako. the U, the Yuvaranaka, U and Vu take the Adesh of Ana and Aka. So this is also, if you know a little bit of Vyakaranam, it makes this, demystifies it for you. What in the world is Liu? If you're looking at Ana, what is Liu? What is Ana? Because of course you remove the it letter and then Yuvaranaka 711. The beginning of 7-1 is all the Pratyadesha. Now I heard this from a teacher 100 times. My teacher is that 7.1 Pratyadesha, Pratya, Atobita, Ais, all these things come in 7.1. Very first term is this one, Yuvaranaka. So Darshi plus Ana, and now Niraniti. So because this is a sanya of Ardhatukam Sheshaha, so it gets the Nirada Ardhatuke Pare Lopasyat, because this is Ajadipatti, will not take it, not Valadi, not take an Idagamaha, so you get Nich Lopaha, Vikutana Darshana, then Striyam Tap, Anubandha Lopa, Dirgha, Vikutana Darshana. This is what the way they've taken it, is that the Pratya Liu has been added here, Vikutananam Darshayati, Vikutana Darshana. But the other commentator says the Darshana Drishti, we can make, Bhavuri from that, another way out is like that. So, because, what then we can do there, by the way, is that because if you take the word Drishti, where do you get that from? Or how do you get that from, Karthik, what do you think? How do you make Darshana Drishti?
This is Lyutcha, so Napumsake Bhave.
But it's not Bhave. Then Darshana will mean seeing. How will it mean eye? He's saying Drishti. What he's saying is that he's saying Vikrita Drishti. So it's not Drishti, it's not. Oh, you mean Drishti, we are saying seeing itself, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, could be. But what I was thinking of that is that under Lyutcha, there is this sutra which says that Karnadikarana Yoshcha. I think that you want to use that one. Karnadikarana Yoshcha. So that one is saying that, like a word like Dharani, Rajadhani, Sanjivani, Vidya, Sanjivani, that by which you make somebody alive. So Sanjivyate Anaya Sanjivani. So basically Drishyate Anena, Anaya iti Drishti, the Darshanam. So Darshanam can mean an instrument by which you see. That means the eye now. So this is a very important sutram here, like Lekhani, right? Lekhani. And one more thing about sutram, this doesn't have to be Napumsaki. Well, like Lekhani, Tarjani, how about the word Tarjani? That by which you terrorize somebody, Tarjani. So these are a common form in the feminine gender also. So this anuvritti of Napumsake doesn't come into this one. Karnadikarana Yoscha. So this could be taken like, that by which you see. Then becomes the eye then, the instrument. So not only Lyutya Bhave, but Karnadikarana Yoscha, very important sutra. So anyway, you could have done that also. But I want to just take what the translation is given. So they have taken this other commentators. So we'll take that. Okay. Now, Manyamane. Now, so Dhatu straightforward here. Man is Mananyane. Divadi Ganaha. Pratya. Let's take Shanat because this is a Apnepadi Dhatu. Shatashtu Shanacha. Pratama Samadhi Karane. So take Shanach and Apur because again, why? Because, yes. So that's fine. We can use that. And then Pratyashan Divadi Shan comes in here. Then Manya Ana and then Ane Mukha. Ane Mukha is the only special thing over here. If you have the again we were talking about in the early class in the first class you're talking about this section in 7.2. 7.2 talking about the Ato Yeyaha, Ato Nitaha, Ane Mukha. Today we're talking about this in the earlier class. We're talking about this Linga Salopanantasya. Ato yeya, ata anutti coming down here. And ato nita we did in the class today. Ane mukha. If you adantam angam, followed by the ana pratyaya, in that angam we take the muk agamaha. So adjantau takitau, it becomes so that muk, because the end of the angam become manyam ana. Of course, anubandha lopaha manyam ana. This thinking. So the iti ends the quotation. Begins with what's in the quotation, Karthik?
Stri. Stri.
This is the confusing. I think the cha is connecting with the prior shloka now. So the iti has come after a clause rather than the cha I think outside the quotation. Normally the so that I think stri and we see inside the quotation like a separate sentence. So So iyam stri asti iti manyamanaha. You complete inside the quotation you complete supply a verb. So this is a woman, thinking that this is a woman. So iyam stri asti iti manyamanena hanumata. Ati krodha swayam na kritaha. He did not get very angry himself. But satu, but that again tu is a connecting word. It comes one more later in this language. Doesn't come at the top of the sentence. It comes one more later. So it's a good example. Stri cha. And then satu comes not tu sa but satu. And on the other hand, she, by that blow of Hanuman, she who was completely her limbs were completely out of order. That Rakshasi, she all of a sudden she crashed on the ground, displaying her ugly, her deformed face, is what it is. So even though that blow was, sadayam tadita api, even though she was struck gently only by Hanuman, and yet he also wasn't too mad at her. She was a woman, thinking that she's a woman. He didn't get too angry at her, but that was enough for her to crash on the ground all of a sudden, with her limbs out of order or distraught, and displaying her ugly face. So, we'll try this one, Ravi, for us. Finish off. So, what is no? No is
na.
no.
Na.
Violent anger will be this.
Atikrodha.
Ikrodha. However,
Tu.
Nothing. Yeah, could be two, I guess. I thought, however, but satu, it should come down here.
Maybe cha.
Maybe cha, but the two, I don't see a two translation down here. Maybe it is two, maybe. Having been overpowered, maybe, yeah, maybe. But the two belongs down here, really, Anyway, I think maybe it should be really be cha. So, okay. Was exhibited is
Krutaha. Okay.
So by him. I think there is a tritya over here, tritya, by him, and we take it by him, inasmuch as he looked upon her as a woman. So that looked upon her is manyamanena. So by him who looked upon her, that's manyamanena. So, and then as a woman is the stri. Iyam stri astiti manyamanena. Okay, of his own accord.
Swayam.
Her limbs having been overpowered by that, having been overpowered.
Vishvalangi.
Then by that,
Tena.
That by the blow is
Praharena.
So that is this one.
Patsa.
Ogress is of course Nishachari.
Nishachari.
Fell is
Papata.
Precipitously.
Sahasa.
There is a typo here, I'm not sure. Sahasa. On the ground.
Bhumau.
And displaying, this is darshana. That means it's a compound really. Vikrita ananam darshayati. Her understood. Ugly is a vikrita and anand is feature. See how much vocabulary you get out of this Ramayanam? Only one shloka, half a shloka. Tremendous vocabulary. I mean, you get so many things. You get samasas, you get bahubri, you get striyamadhikara, you get so many things you get. And you get the shanas pratyaha, you get the muk agamaha. I'm sure we didn't want to go in some details. You get the lit pratyaha, you get the nice avyam you get in there, swayam. You keep on reading, it's just with one shloka, how much knowledge you got with just one shloka. You can keep on going to that. And if you just can connect with the English, you can keep on getting more and more. Okay. Next one is, I know time is running out, but next one is easy. There's nothing much in the next shloka. I couldn't find much grammar in there. Yada tvam vanaraha kaschid vikramad vashamanayet tada tvaya hi vijneyam rakshasam bhayamagatam. Straightforward shloka. Yada tvam vanaraha kaschid vikramad vashamanayet tada tvaya hi vijneyam rakshasam bhayamagatam. Padacheda for us, Karthik.
Yada tvam
Tvam.
Vanaraha.
Vanaraha.
Kaschid.
Well, kaha, chit, really, technically.
Vikrama.
Kaha is the putak.
Kaha.
Kaha, chit.
Kaha. Chit. Vikramad.
Vikrama.
Vasham.
Vasham.
Anayet.
Anayet.
Tada.
Tada.
Tvaya. Hi.
Tvaya.
Vigneyam.
Vigneyam.
Rakshasam.
Tam.
Bhayam. Agatam.
Agatam. So it's straightforward. Siddhas navim yasmin kale. This pratyaya is, at the beginning of 5.3. Panini has this nice section which is a lot of avyayani, prasiddhani avyayani, nishpadyante. So this is this sarva kaleda, sarvekanya kinyat tadaha kaleda. Satya da is added, and this is after sarva eka anya kim yat and tat. That now we have yat. And the thing is that these get sanya vibhakti, pradisha vibhakti. We can use chadadi namaha vibhaktau. We get ya atogune, ya plus da becomes yada. Straightforward. Yasmin kale, swami ditya ekvachanam of yushmat, manar pratama ekvachanam of ramavat, straightforward. Kaschit. So this kaha means it becomes like an indefinite pronoun. The chit qualifies as kaha, means some vanara, some monkey. Kaschit. Kaha means who, but he means kaschit means some monkey. Vikramat is by his heroism, by his power. Vasham anaye. This is vikarmaka dhatu. Notice that, because this anayet, of course, is dhatu ni prapane, and this one is the upasarga is a. Of course, ni is the vidhiling, like bhavet becomes nayet. So just like bhu to guna became bho, angam became bhava, ni will take guna became ne, echo yavaya. I mean, of course, sarvasaras yoho, echo yavaha become nayo, so nayet. So vasham nayet. Nayet means should take, would, anayet. So naya is to take, anaya is to bring. So when some monkey would bring you under control, so vasham. So basically this is vikarmaka dhatu. For example, it says Gopalaha gramam nayati. So the cowherd takes the cow to the village. So this gam is the pradhana karma. So here also is tvam is the pradhana karma. Anyway, this is another class. This is another topic. You can take a whole class to go into this. See, this thing becomes complicated in the passive. When you take the passive of this, it becomes complicated. But anyway, we don't have passive, so don't worry about it right now. It's straightforward. What would be in the other vibhakti of Vasha, you think, Karthik? That's how do you, one other way to test for the pradhana karma and the gavana karma is test which one takes other vibhakti. Which one can we take, you think, what's in Karthik?
Chaturthi?
Yeah, it's for the sake of unto. I think Saptami. I would say that, Gopalaha gam grame nayati. So Vashe anayet. Anyway, so Vasha is the governor, but the important notice that there are, this is Vikarmaka dhatu. Vikarmaka dhatus are, we won't go in details, no time anyway, but there are 16 of them. It is.
Is it that Duhyach Pachdan?
Very good. Yes, 1/4. What Ravi is saying here, there is this karika which lists them out. Akatitam cha. Akatitam cha is sutram of Panini, very cryptic sutram in which he doesn't go in much detail, but in the Mahabhashyam, Patanjali has a listing of these 16 dhatus, 12 plus 4. Why 12 plus 4? Because they behave differently in the passive. The 12 behave differently, the 4 behave differently. And they're listed out in this article. If Kashika has it here, I can Dushyach, so yeah, here it is. Dushyach, Pachdand, Ridhi, Pachi, so Bru, Shas, so this, these dhatus, Karmayuk Syad, Akajitam, Tathasyat, Ni, R, Kr, and Vah. These are the 4. The 4 Tathasya, Ni, R, Krishmaha. So this is where these four behave different from those other ones. Anyway, so ni is bottom line. Ni is one of the dhatu which can take not only these. Samanarthaka api. Samanarthaka dhatu also can take. Samanarthaka dhatu, which is same meaning, that can also take. So brew doesn't have to be dhatu brew. You can say dhatu vad also will take. I ask you this. So idam tvam prichami aham. So for dhatu prach is already separate. I'm sorry. Vadami aham. I'm telling you this. So that both this and you will take the ditya. But the important thing is that just notice that there are two karmas here. One is the vasham, one is the tvam. Then go to Sutra 1451 akaditancha. You can examine it there. Which are the 12? Which are the 4? Which one is this? And if it's not in the passive, the 12 and the 4 doesn't matter much. But in the passive, they'll behave differently. Okay. Tada. Yada tada means tasmin kale. Toya vijneyam. It should be known by you. What's called krutya pratyaya. Krutya pratyaya. We just talked about that in the beginning of the krut pratyaya. Pani starts with krutyaha. Pani does krutyaha. And there, there are these three pratyas. Tavyat, tavya aniyaraha. Tavyat and tavya only there. Sarabheda, kartavya, karaniya. Nyatavya. So nyatavya. Now, and so one of these will come, and one of the pratyas, which is a year. There are three kinds of years, which is acho yat, then ru halor nyat, and then these 82 shas dru jasha kyap. So basically there is a yat, there is a kyap, there is a nyat, ru halor nyat, ru halor nyat, ru halor nyat, ru halor nyat. Here it is nyat. Now, thing is that, I can be out of time, so I have to kind of go a little bit fast, is that when Panini started this adhikar of krud thing when Panini started, there he says vasarupos triyam, which means the pratyas in the same meaning can coexist. They don't overrule each other. They don't overrule each other. They don't overrule each other. As long as this is asarupa pratyaya. So the pratyas tavya and aniya, they're not the same letters. Tavya and very different letters. You can have the form kartavya, karaniya. Both will coexist. But among the 3 years, only one will come. So there is sarupa pratyaya. Only one the bheda only is there. So this vasarupa striyam, this doesn't overrule these other two. So generally there will be 3 for any dhatu. There will be 3 forms. So there might be some exceptions, but 3 form will be there. For dhatu nya, which one do you use? Acho yat, straightforward, right? Ajanta dhatu pratyaya is yat. But then how do we get the form nyeya? So acho yat, we got nya plus yat. This is what's called as potential participle. Nyatum yogyam nyeyam. You should be, so vijna is to understand. You ought to understand that rakshasam bhayam agatam, that the fear for the rakshasas has arrived. Agatam. But then how do you get the form nyeya? Okay, and there, what happens is that idyati, again, simple, straightforward sutram. It says that it is in angasyadikaraha. We have an akarantam angam for pratyaya yat. Then we get, which we do have right now, we dhatu nya followed by yat. Is the ikara deshaha alontyasya, idyati. So then why do we have dirgha ikara, Ravi? Why not rasva ikara? What do you think? You know the answer to this, Ravi. I think Ravi knows the answer to this. Anyway, we're going to do the guna adesha anyway, right? So why do dirgha ikara with vidhanam here? Why not rasva?
Because the next sutra needs the ikara as anuvritti.
Correct. Very good. The next sutra, guma, sta. Yeah, we might see in the next class we might see the sutra. We need from the making of some of the passive forms like diyate, vidhiyate, sthiyate, giyate, piyate. We're going to need this. So maybe see in the next class we see this one. Anuvritti of the ikara required in the next sutra. So Panini economizes, and he said, let me put the ikara here itself. Because here, rasva ikarana api karyam syat. Rasva ikarana api karyam sadatra. Anuvrityartham, dirgha ikara vihitaha. So we get the niya, and then of course, get the guna adeshaha by savradhatkarjata yoho, niya. One more time, acho yat, the kritya pratyayaha, and anubandha lopaha halantyam. I'm sorry, the wrong number should be, this should be halantyam, okay, this should be not chutu, but halantyam. Correct that. And then idyati. So this anuvritti goes down to ghumastha, probably see in the next class. So so that's how this form nyeya comes. Now there is a important shloka, correct? Ravi, you know that one? Gyeyam Gita Nama Sahasram, right?
Dhyayam Shripati Rupamajasam.
Yes, Dhyayam Shripati Rupamajasam. Neyam Sajjana Sangechittam, Deyam Dina Janaya Vittam.
So you have the Da become Deya, then Gyeyam, so Gai first became Ga by 6145. Adeshupudeshati, then that became Gyeya. So then, and then we got the Jayam. Jay becomes Jaya. So nice thing which, Acharya has put in this Vajagovindam. So we can Nyeya. And Agatam is, straightforward form. Gam Prastatyakta. Only thing there is that because this Dhatu Gam is Udatu, Anudatu Pashadhatu, Anudatu Padeshaha, you get in Nishedha, because Mantesho, right? You have Gama Nama Yamarama Chatvaraha. These four dhatus Mantesho, Anudatu Padesha, Adhatavaha, Anid dhatus. To get the Nishedha, and then finally you get the 6437 Anudatopadesha Manasitanothyadinam Anudasikalopa Jalikiniti. So these 6 dhatus, Gama, Nama, Yama, Rama, and Han and Manya dhatu Vanati Tanothyadinam. Example I give of Sutram is Akshatan Samarpayami. So the Akshan become Akshata. The Anunasikalopa Jalikiniti. So, okay, you try, Ravi. Surely. What is surely?
Surely,
I would say he.
He?
He.
He.
So, at the time when?
Yada.
So at the time is tada. I think yada is, when is the yada? Yada tada. Yada, basically comes to yada tada. At the time when. So some is
Kaschit.
Monkey.
Vanaraha.
Subdues.
Anayet.
I think probably Vashamanayet, right? Probably Vashamanayet. Because bring it under control. Vashamanayet. You is
Swam.
by dint of his prowess.
Vikramat.
Destruction. All is bhayam, I think. Bhayam. I think means like nasha bhayam, vinasha bhayam, destruction. In fact, there might be some commentary. If you give me a quick second, there's 47, right? Let's see. Because when they say bhayam is destruction, he says rakshasam bhayam. Sarvaraksha jaya evam hi majjaya ayam. Sarvaraksho jaya suchaka iti bhava. Okay. Bhayam vinasha. That's the commentary. See, I told you, when you see the Gita is translating like that, you know they're going to look at the commentary. So the commentary clearly says, Bhayam vinasha, he says clearly. Okay, alright. So this destruction of the ogress is?
Rakshasam.
Should be concluded.
Vigneyam.
By you?
Swaya.
To be imminent.
Agatam.
Correct, Agatam. Okay. Alright, time is up. Again, sorry for a little bit delay. So next class will be on July the 9th, Saturday. Just to Mangalacharanam. Thank you. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vyata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasyada Sosmyaham Rameshitale Sada Bhautame Bhorama Mamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattalyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana Kundamati. Holding Ravi, the recording is fine.
Yes, Satish.
Okay. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Karthik. Thank you, Vasu.